How is financial risk and public debt managed in the Eurozone?
Yeah, the Eurozone suffered from a very deep sovereign debt crisis starting in 2010, and the crisis was addressed through several instruments, both at the domestic level and at the European level. Countries need to adjust their policies and perform better in terms of fiscal outcome. At the European level, many instruments were put in place. The Stability and Growth Pact was strengthened. New institutions were created, like the EFSF and then the ESM, and also monetary policy was pretty active. The ECB started using unconventional monetary policy instruments like the QE, for example. So now Europe is better equipped to manage debt risks, but of course the EMU needs to be completed. The architecture is not perfect, and there are ongoing initiatives to complete and deepening EMU.
The Eurozone is a complicated animal, and the institutions have changed a lot, dramatically actually, over the past decade. The overall amount of debt is quite similar to other regions in the world, but the way it is managed with 19 countries and 19 treasury and debt agencies makes it more complicated. Overall, there are the less risky one, Germany of course, and the more risky one, Greece, Italy perhaps, which make it for a difficult mix, and there are proposals actually on the table to make it safer in the future. My point today was also to explain why it's more of a political decision and political choices to make than economic or technical ones, and that's why it's also so complicated.
So when we look at the euro area today, there's been a lot of change since the crisis. We have a number of new institutions, banking union, which is very important in terms of managing the risk of the banking sector. We also have a number of new European institutions with the ESM, also supported by the ECB's OMT, the famous whatever it takes. In that case, we can also see that there's more will to do some public risk sharing, and combined that helps to manage the risks in the event of a crisis. But what's also important to look at is how do we manage at the national level to make sure that we have the sufficient growth and the right type of fiscal policy mix to make sure that we bring about debt sustainability. And I think on that front we still have quite a lot of work to be done in Europe today. But I do want to say that I think what we're seeing in France today in terms of finally moving ahead on some of the structural reforms is encouraging, and I would like to see more of that across the entire euro area.